Welcome back to PPM Racing Products here on Tech Tuesday. I'm Hunter, and of course you can tell I can got my Mr. Partner here, Mr. Randy.
Hello.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk to you about our spindles. A lot of people want to know how we build them and why ours are, well, just built better. So today we're going to get started into talking about that and how we build our spindles. So Mr. Randy here is going to get into the internals of how these are built.
Okay, here we go. Our spindle is built in a box design with the corners being on it here and one weld up the middle. What we found in any manufacturing or fabricating process, the least welding you can do, the best, because of the distortion and keeping the spindle true and straight and strong. That's key. These corners like this bent with one weld up the center keeps it from pulling, and it keeps the ball going straighter. You can see right here on the end of this. This is not just simply a plate like some are. This is a half inch by inch and a half square tubing through the middle, which braces it from deflection a lot better. They're all production MIG'd, inverter MIG'd, welded, so they're welded hot and fast to decrease distortion. Most important thing is for those to be true and strong. Why do you need a spindle that does not deflect? Because if it deflects, caster camber's off when you set it on the ground. If it deflects, you can't feel it in the steering wheel, which creates a lack of performance. We make them several different styles, and I'm sure Hunter's going to show you how the steering arms adjust. But that's just a simple explanation why you need a strong spindle. And we make them in several different applications and even do custom spindles.
So let me get into that on with you. I like it. All right, so to start off with on our custom spindles, you can go to ppmracingproducts.com and go under the PDF white pages, and it has a custom spindle form on there. It shows you exactly how to do your measurements and pick out and choose what you need on your spindle that you want. But for the already pre-made spindles that we have spindles for just about every chassis manufacturer out there. Even the older stuff. We have spindles from cars that only work from 2000, 2002.
Go back to the model GRTs and Masterbuilts. Yeah,
that's a fact. We got you covered on all that. And on our spindles, like Randy was talking about, depicting on what spindle you get for your chassis also has different steering arms. Like your XR1 spindle, it has the Ackerman adjuster on it. You have your Longhorn spindles that take the little slug in it. And on the slugs, you have to be very particular on which one you get between left front and right front, because they do alternate anywhere from 1/8 of an inch up to 1/4 of an inch difference from left to right. So you need to make sure that whatever your front end setup is, that you get the right slug. And then you have your old style blue-gray rocket. It has the 2 bungs in it. And then you go to some like your older GRTs that have just the single bung and that type of thing. And the things that we need to know if you want to order a pre-made spindle for your chassis is, number one, we need to know what your chassis is. And around a year model, generally a rough idea on the year model, we can kind of get you right. If not, we can get you to measure your old one. The next thing is going to be your center to center on your brake mounts. On most of them nowadays are 3.5, but your older stuff, like your older GRTs, there was even some Masters builds that had a 5 1/4 brake mount. So we always like to make sure that you know what that is. And then the most important thing is your rotor size. Like your old, again, keep bringing it up, your older GRTs, they there for a couple of years ran a 1-inch rotor. Well, whenever you go to our spindles, we only make them with a 1 inch,
Inch and a quarter.
inch and a quarter rotor
Or 18.
and an 810. We don't do anything for the 1 inch anymore. It's kind of an obsolete deal. So at that point, if you do progress into buying a new spindle and upgrading to one of those two rotors, there's a lot of things that go into effect. You'll have to change your caliper, and you have to also have to change your spindle, and depending on what kind of caliper you have, you also have to change your pads. But along with that, we have all of these, like I said, for most of your major, well, actually all chassis manufacturers, dating back a long time. And on our spindles, if you have one of our spindles and it doesn't have a label on it, we also have a deal on the back of them now to where they're etched and cut out, and it has either letters or numbers on it to identify what spindle it is. Because we do have people that take a spindle from one manufacturer and put it on another. And so we started doing that on the back of ours. You'll see it, you'll have it on the back of your bracing. Right at the bottom corner, it has what it is. So along with that, these spindles start out at $199.76. And they go all the way up to $291.50 for like your Longhorns and stuff like that. And one thing I do want to touch on is with the Longhorn spindles, for the 18 model and back, we offer a spindle called the Victory spindle. It is the exact same spindle. It's built a little different, but it has the exact same measurements as a true Longhorn, but it's $50 cheaper.
It was built for the Victory card, yes.
Yeah. So, like I said, along with that, we have all these for your chassis needs. And if you want to make sure that yours is straight and correct, we offer a spindle checker. This one right here is the 3-piece all-in-one. It does your Chrysler lowers and your Chevy lowers and your standard uppers. We have 4 different types. You got one that has your upper with a Chrysler, upper with a Chevy, and then we have the one that has all 3. And we just now started offering one for those metric spindles, which in the next video we'll talk more about the spindle checkers and going into the taper on them, and we're also going to talk about your bearings and bearing spacers and seals in the next video. So guys, thank y'all for watching. If you want to get spindles for your car or even a spindle checker to check what you got, go to ppmracingproducts.com. Or if you have any tech questions on our spindles or want one built for yourself on your own custom measurements, call us at 865-354-9669, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you for watching.